Welcome back, everyone. Today I want to just go over this this target. This is from the pellet selection, and there have been a lot of comments about this. And I don't want to mislead anybody. So as you can see, these targets are 1 inch. Now I'm going to go one by one on these, so that I can get rid of any kind of criticism of the firearm or the pellets themselves. Some of this was me, and I believe I called those shots. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. First, I'm going to talk about the H&N Barracuda Hunter Extremes, 18.52 grain. As you can see, there are some that are way out from where they're supposed to be. That was all me. The first two on the, they're a little bit to the right. One's high, one's a little bit low. I had this scope actually, when I looked at my notes, I had this scope zeroed for a different gun. This was zeroed for my Marauder when I put it on to do this pellet test. And I neglected to move it back to zero. So I moved it back to zero after those. It was shooting high and of course to the right. So I made two different adjustments, and then I fine-tuned it a little bit. And then you can see that all the pellets after that went right down, except the one that hit my hand. All the pellets went into the same hole. So that's a good group. I mean, you know, I can more than cover that group with my pinky fingernail. Okay, now I'm going to go to the Crossman Premiers. This isn't a terrible group. I didn't have a whole bunch of shot calls in this. One, I believe I pulled the trigger a little bit and threw the pellet a little bit, probably to the left. But it's not terrible. But keep in mind the price point here when we're talking about these pellets. The JSB Monsters performed exactly how I would expect them to. I've never had a rifle that actually shot these better than everything else. So there are no surprises there. And I didn't pull anything there. It was just the luck of the draw on those. The JSB, this is what I would expect of a pellet that the rifle doesn't want to shoot. That's fine. The RWS Superdomes. This one really surprised me because the rifle shot them really well. There was one flyer. I believe that might have been me, but it's way to the left. I just don't know. I don't know what happened there. I've reviewed the video and I don't see where I made any mistakes. The one down lower here, that was my hand. I know what that was. I know exactly what that was. See, when I'm shooting like this, I keep my non-dominant hand underneath like this. And I let the rifle ride on the rest. So it's able to move back and forth. And I'm shoving the rear bag back, and the rifle is able to move back as it wants to. And that's as close to an artillery hold as I'm going to get like that. I want to take me completely out of it. And the rifle moves easier on the side of the rest, because I don't use the tacky part of the rest that's designed to hold a rifle. I use the side of the rest that's much slicker. So it is able to move freely. So I flex my hand a little bit, and of course that picks up the butt of the rifle before the pellet leaves the muzzle. Anything that happens to that rifle before the pellet leaves the muzzle, it's going to impact the point of impact of the pellet. So other than that, I mean, you know, the rest of it, once again, I can cover with my pinky. The Cro-Magnon surprised me that they didn't shoot well. It was probably because I came from the RWS to the H&N Cro-Magnons. It usually shoots those pretty well. That's what I did the 50-yard hunting scenario on. And you can see it's kind of all over the place. And it's probably because of the coating that they use on the RWS or the JSBs that's different than the H&Ns. So I would have to shoot it in, 5, 6, 7 pellets before it was leaded properly for the Cro-Magnums. So I think they would be fine, but they're not my first choice. My first choice, of course, is the H&N Hunter Extremes, and now the Superdomes, the RWS Superdomes. So, okay. Next, I'm thinking about doing a series on a budget-friendly survival rifle. I'm going to give myself a budget of about $250, probably $250, and that should include the rifle and the scope. I'm thinking it's going to have to be a Spanish, so a Gamo. I could pick a Crossman or something of that nature, maybe one of the Humorex imports, but I think probably a Gamo. I know the scopes are going to be terrible on a package, but probably good enough for our purposes right now. If I can find one, I think probably a Fusion. I'm sorry, a Whisper Mach 1 probably. I think that one has iron sights. Not completely sure. I think it also has a barrel shroud, which would make it tough to have iron sights. I don't know. I'm going to go in and do some more research. I'd like to hear what you guys want to see. And like and subscribe so that you can get the most update videos. And we're going to do a lot of these. And we're going to go into other survival topics too. This isn't necessarily just an air rifle channel. Although it has been for the last 7 or 8 videos, because I think it's important that we cover this so that you can get, in an emergency situation, you're able to still feed your family. Okay, everybody, we'll see you next time. Stay safe.